Remember Red Sonja, chat? I don't either. No, I know Red Sonja, the comic book character. They did that movie, which is kind of like a spin-off in the for the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan the Barbarian films. I like the first Conan a lot, the first Arnold one. Actually, I had that poster on my wall, beautiful poster. But they did a Red Sonja movie, and I didn't. I've seen it, and I did not like it. Didn't care for it yet. Neither did Arnold Schwarzenegger. He even said that's like one of the worst films he ever did. But apparently, Chad, they're doing a new one. Red Sonja, Matilda Luntz to star in Millennium's Sword and Sorcery feature. I love sword and sorcery features, Chad. We don't get too many of them nowadays. You know, that Conan-esque films. Millennia Media has begun filming on the long-gestating sword and sorcery feature Red Sonja, adapted from the comic book series and starring Matilda Lutz as Red Sonja. The ensemble cast also includes Wallace Day, Robert Sheenan as Dragan, and Michael Bisping as Hawk, Martin Ford as General Karlak, and Eliza Montagu as Amarok. These all sound like Klingon names. MJ Bass will direct. Joey Soloway, who was initially set to helm the project, will get an executive producer credit. Hannah John Kamen, who has to have played the lead role of Red Sonja, has stepped aside due to scheduling conflicts. The film is being produced initially at the Bulgarian New Boyana studio with additional shoots set for Greece. I'm sure it's based on a comic book of the same name from Dynamite Entertainment. That's right. I've wanted to make a Red Sonja movie since I was a teenager. She has been a powerful presence for me and a character that I've always wanted to bring to the screen with my own voice and vision. When I met Matilda Lutz, I knew she had all the magic I was looking for and could see the complexity and the depth she could bring to Sonja, MJ Bassett said. Millennium Media President Jeffrey Greenstein underlined the long travails and getting Red Sonja from script to screen. MJ's an amazing filmmaker with a fantastic vision. Matilda was absolutely brilliant in Revenge, which I did not see, that we knew she was right for this role the moment we saw her, making them the perfect duo for Red Sonja, he said. Lutz's recent projects include Paramount Pictures' Zone 414, Neon's Revenge, which I have not seen again, Chad. Bass's projects include Solomon Kane, starring James Purefoot, which I have not seen, Lionsgate, Endangered Species, Rogue, starring Megan Fox, and episodes of Freeform's Motherland, Fort Salem. I just haven't seen any of these, Chad, so I don't know. I mean, I think it would be kind of cool if we started to get, more movies again like Conan the Barbarian. I mean, listen, we have definitely gotten a lot of fantasy, esque content over the last 20 years. There's no doubt about that. Things obviously like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones most recently, and we see these shows coming back in new forms with the both prequel series, Rings of Power, prequel series to the Lord of the Rings movies and content, The Hobbit and stuff, and then most recently with The House of the Dragon, which we saw the first episode. I liked the first episode quite a bit, but I kind of do miss those like 1980s fantasy films. There's something about them. They could range from being either very family friendly or like really just bloody and violent. And Conan the Barbarian was always one of my absolute favorites, Chad. That one's I love that film. That's like probably my top 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. If you've never seen that, Chad, I highly recommend. I think I've definitely done a review of that movie. It might be on my YouTube channel right now. However, they did 2 sequels. Conan the Destroyer, I wouldn't say it's awful, but it's nowhere near as good as the first one. Red Sonja, if I recall correctly, was not very good. I did not like that. So, but however, I would hope that they take a note from, like the original Conan and do something a little more grounded, a little gritty. Or honestly, Chad, you know what? A great kind of spiritual successor to Conan the Barbarian is to Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan the Barbarian is Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal. Yes, it's a whole different medium. It's animation, but it kind of captures that ferocity of that world. Just with all the fantastical creatures and these savage men and women, all these different monsters from all these different time periods and eras that like never existed together, but now here they are slammed at each other. Like that to me would be my idea. I would use that would be my setting. For a Red Sonja or Conan the Barbarian film, a movie filled with all these different types of tribes and kingdoms and civilizations all commingling, but with all these horrific monsters like dinosaurs and giant spiders, and then you have warlocks and wizards and witches. That's something that I would love to see. That's what I would use as a basis. I basically say, see all however many episodes, but probably we got 17 at this point. Watch all 17 of these and then make a movie. But except it's Conan or Red Sonja. That's what I would personally do. I feel like that would be awesome. But that's just me, Chad. So I'm not too familiar with the work of a lot of these people, honestly. I see some people in the chat talking about Revenge. People like Revenge quite a bit. So that's good to hear. But, overall, I'm like, okay. I'm open to a Red Sonja movie, hell, a television show, but, borrow it from some of the better material over the last, 40 or so years. Look at the original Conan the Barbarian. Look at something like Jenny Tartakovsky's Primal. Use that as a basis for something like this. I'm not sure what their aesthetics are going to be. I hope they don't try to do something like the Jason Momoa Conan, which recently he came out and just said, yeah, that movie was a terrible experience. He was excited about it, and he was perfectly cast. He looks like the fucking character. Everyone thought he should play Conan, and then look what happened, chat. So hopefully they won't do that. But what about you guys? What would you like to see in a Red Sonja movie? Are you interested in it? Even if you're not, maybe some of the examples I just brought up, would those be kind of cool as a setting, as a basis for it, and then a springboard for that kind of character? Let me know, chat. Let me know. Uthadar! Good to see you, Uthadar. Hope you're doing well. Epic fail. No! No! Bakor, good to see you, Bakor. Hope you're having a very nice evening. Let's see, Mr. Yasin. Chris, it's the same company who did the Momoa Conan. Oh, it is? Oh. Well, maybe they've learned their lesson. Maybe they learned their lesson, chat. Oh, Jesus. Are Conan and Red Sonja Marvel properties? Good to see you, El Kuche. I thought this one, Red Sonja's owned by Dynamite. I don't know what the rights for Conan are. I assume they're not Marvel. I don't believe so. And they said specifically in this article is Red Dynamite. Man, maybe at one point they were, but they said Red Dynamite for Red Sonja. Conan I can't speak to. I don't remember. Zerger, good to see you, by the way. Whatever they did in the old movie, don't do that. In the original Red Sonja movie, yes. They still making a Red Sonja? Yep. I love 60s sword and sandals movies like Hercules against the Moon Man. Also, that would make a great Friday watch. Yeah, I've done a couple of those. I've done Jason the Argonauts. And what was the other one I did? Oh, The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. Those are pretty fun. I like those. Those audio video commentaries are on my Patreon right now, Chad. So yeah, they did something maybe in the same style as that, or at least influence. I could see that working. Fancy thing I'm most excited for is D&D Monks. That looks fun. It looks like a good time. And D&D fans seem to be going, yeah, I'm liking it. It looks good. Aaron Carriage, welcome to stream. I'll be reacting to a lot of those trailers in just a bit. Just talking about this Red Sonja news. Conan was owned by Dark Horse for a long time, I think. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ace Rock. Thank you. I'm not too interested in Red Sonja's win box, but might be able to change my mind once season. Yes, sure. I just hope that one of my problems with I have a lot of problems with the Jason Momoa Conan film. But one of my biggest problems is aesthetically, it just felt too clean. I never felt like it had any grit or dirt. It was just so well polished, It was with so much CGI. I just saw something that's, I don't know, a little darker, a little gritty, like dark fantasy. That's what I want in my Conan movies, in my sword and sorcery movies, chap. But, again, those sensibilities don't seem to be in the mainstream, with a lot of audiences, mainstream audiences. So Marvel at one point did own Conan Comics, yeah. So there you go. It was probably shopped around to different publishers for years. I don't know the publishing history of Conan very well, so other people might know. Let's see here. Yes. Red Sonja, where she and Arnie sword fight over whether or not they have sex. Correct. Also, originally was a Marvel property that survived when they hand over to Dynamite. Gotcha. By Crumb. I never played to you before. I just don't know jack shit about Red Sonja, says Chris, so I don't have any feelings about it, one way or another. Fair enough. Yeah, Ray Harryhausen movies are fun. They are. There's some good stuff in there. Yeah. He's the filmmaker, guy behind a lot of that animation style, that stop motion animation style, claymation. Deadpool. I want a Conan movie in the vein of the Northman. Yes, when I was watching the Northman. That's what you're talking about. The Northman. I was thinking, like, God damn it. Robert Eggers could absolutely kill, literally, a Conan movie. He would do so well with that. Lisa, hard hands, good to see you. That's the thing. That's what I want the Conan movie to look like. I want the Conan movie, or like the Red Sonja film, to look like the Northman. That's what I want it to look like aesthetically. It's more fantastical, too. There's no doubt about that. And there's fantastical elements in that movie, but a little bit more of that, It's like, spoiler for the Northman, you haven't seen it, chat. You should have seen it, by the way. Great movie, in my top 10 so far for this year. There's just one sequence where he's clearly fighting this fantastical-esque character who looks like a Dark Souls boss. I'm like, this is what needs to be in a new Conan movie or this like Red Sonja film. Like it's like, okay, it's grounded a little. It's definitely grounded, but it's still fantastical at the same time. It's a nice blending of both reality and fantasy. So do I think the original actress from Red Sonja make Hammond? Probably not. Probably not. I would like a Krull remake. I love Krull. I own Krull. I love Dark Crystal. Hell yeah. I love the Netflix series. That was great. I'm sad that it got canceled. But like everything in Netflix, if you ain't fucking Stranger Things, and maybe if you aren't Arcane, and you're on the chopping block constantly, I wouldn't be shocked if the Sandman gets canceled. I don't want it to be, but I'm waiting for the axe. It's a shame too because Momoa is perfect, but he was. I mean, a lot of things he plays Conan in. There's no doubt. And in Game of Thrones, in Stargate, we did the Stargate series, Aquaman. Now, a lot of Conan in his role, but he has the look and he has the body type for it. So it was development hell. You mean for years? Oh shit, Robert Rodriguez director, Rose McGowan starring. Ugh. Well, thankfully they moved on to better people. That's good. Christ. Whew, that could have been really bad. So Marvel did have the Conan rights for a while, which is why Shuma Gorath. That's right, because he's a Conan character. Right. Yep, gotcha. Mm-hmm. Very nice. By Odin's Fade, chat. Indeed. Yes. That scene is directly an homage to Conan Find the Sword of Dad, there you go. So there you go. Yeah, no, Robert Eggers, I don't know if he would do anything that mainstream, though. Like, at this point, I guess technically The Northman is his most mainstream movie, even though it's definitely not a mainstream film. But it has those sensibilities to it. Every once in a while, it kind of pops and goes, ooh. But if he would ever like to do that, yeah, like low fantasy genre, very much so. And I guess we have gotten more low fantasy recently. You know, like I would quantify Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon as low fantasy. Lord of the Rings is not. That's very much high fantasy. And like the Rings of Power, very much high fantasy. The Witcher, I suppose I would say is low fantasy, but like one of my I like The Witcher. I think is both seasons are solid. It's like these are matinees. If I give it ratings on the DT scale, matinee, very fun. I don't know what the fuck's going on half the time, but it's fun. Henry Cavill does a good enough job, but it's something about it where it's a little too clean at times. It's like I know that where everyone's on a set, you know. Yes. I will avenge you, father. I will save you, mother. I will kill you, Flonir, or whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, I'm curious about the movie too. Yeah, give Meg. I'll say that Prince money. That show's very popular on that platform. Brian Singer's supposed to direct. Oh, so that's how long this was in some form of production. Yeah. Oh, director of Silent Hill Revelations. Oh. Oh God. Third, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Oh, don't, Sir Work. No, Chris, don't speak the evil to Brooklyn of Asgard. I'm sorry, my apologies. I shouldn't have brought that up. Well, that's not. Maybe they've gotten better. I want to be positive because I kind of missed that style of low fantasy film. Because I'm trying to think in terms of movies. I guess The Northman is very much low fantasy. You know, that's the closest thing I can think of. Has there been anything? Now, we have gotten more in television recently. Like, again, thanks to Game of Thrones, thanks to The Witcher. But has there been any, like, low fantasy movies that have come out in the last 5 or even 10 or so years? I'm trying to think of anything, chat. Shrek, obviously Shrek. Agreed, Mad Max, yes. Shrek is low fantasy. We're going to watch The Northman? I don't know. Is that on a streaming platform right now? Green Knight. The Green Knight was one. I like The Green Knight a lot, yeah. I had any issues with The Green Knight, a little bit of pacing issues, but very good. Yeah, The Green Knight, that was one. I'm trying to think of like mainstream though, just not too many that I can think of. Trillers, the Oslo, Norway-based Funcom will merge the properties into its IP studio's heroic signatures. In addition to Conan, it's acquired IP such as Mutant Year Zero and Solomon Kane, which they mentioned before in the article. It's on demand, so yeah, I think you got to pay for it. I don't know if it's on a particular streaming service. I don't know what company produced it, but there you go. Interesting. But yeah, Chad, I'm hoping for the best. But yeah, I mean, some of that team, if you got the filmmaker behind Silent Hill Revelations, that was pretty bad. That was pretty. I was like, maybe the first Silent Hill. I was like, okay, the first Silent Hill. I like the first Silent Hill. It's fun. It's not perfect, but it's got some good stuff. I guess that's true. I mean, Adventure Time definitely has those sensibilities. Of the kind of like low fantasy sensibilities, no doubt about that, and dystopian and sci-fi. It's kind of a blending of all those things. It worked pretty well. It's on Peacock. Peacock.